Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Uninformed Fan. Jeffrey can't say that I stopped the track early today. That's for dang sure. Jeff, how we looking today, buddy? How we feeling? Looking sharp today, I must say. Not quite as thick as why can't I think of his name all of a sudden? You know what I'm talking about. There he is, right there, Joker. That's who I'm talking about. Not quite as thick as the Joker would like, but you know.
Emeka Egbuka just limped off the field. So
I was gonna say, are we keeping you
have
from that?
No, I'm sorry. I was just I was getting updates on my phone about things and trying to get a little bit more information before I reported something on here.
And you just hit your microphone and it basically went off. Yeah.
What do you mean it went off?
There we go. Thicker than a Snicker. That's right, buddy. Justice Welcome.
What's up, JJ?
Yeah, I have some notes as well, Jeff, of some things that just happened. Safety Kobe Bryant for the Bears underwent surgery today, and he will be out for 4 to 6 months. The Bears hope to have him back by playoffs. What a blow!
What a great name as well, too.
Kobe Bryant. What a blow to the Chicago Bears. Go out, make a great trade to bring in a great talent like that off the Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Comes in and gets hurt in practice, is out for basically the entire year. Unbelievable. Only in Chicago, brother. Only in Chicago.
Jeremy's furiously typing away with something as well, too. So who knows? Chad, what's going on today? Justice, what's going on today, man? Chad, yes, I would love to get you on here for a segment. Maybe if we could work something out on Fridays when we do our Friday show for, a quick bit or something like that. Love to have you come on and
absolutely. And also, Chad, the good thing about what you have in here as well is we're going to be doing the AFC North and East today as well. So look at that. You can feel free to chime in whenever. Jeff, you got a little bit of a smirk to your face there. I feel like something else was just about to come out, but we'll see what happens there.
No, I was just I was thinking about the name Kobe Bryant. And not for nothing, but guy might be the second greatest basketball player of all time in the NBA. Great name. And then for all of you little dick riders out there that were pissed off about me not saying that LeBron James can no longer be in the GOAT conversation, go fuck yourself. Respectfully. I really don't care. You can call me a loser. You can say I've never done anything great in my life. I can tell you I have a beautiful, beautiful wife, wonderful home, 3 healthy, happy, amazing children that are all in school right now. A great job that I don't have to fucking, really work that many hours with as well too. So I'm doing okay. I appreciate
we got time to sit up here and make videos, bitch.
So Jeremy says that Kobe had surgery last Friday and it was just announced yesterday. I think that the semantics of it is fine, but I think Tyson's point still stands that it is very unfortunate that he comes and immediately gets hurt. So
it's just the Chicago curse. It is what it is. But we're not here to talk about the greatest team in NFL yet. We're talking about the AFC today, Jeffrey. Let's jump right into it. We got a lot to cover today. A lot of insight information, a lot of fantasy advice, and a little bit of, shall we say, crystal ball predictions. Let's start at the AFC East, Jeffrey. That is going to be the first one that we thought. The New England Patriots took the division 14-3 last year. Buffalo right behind 12-5. Miami 7-10, and the Jets did squeak out 3 wins last year. Which honestly, if you watch them, that's probably quite the accomplishment.
Hey, listen, they took the Bucks to the brink. I don't know if you remember that game. I was rewatching it the other day. That was when the writing was on the wall for the Bucks that things might not be as sweet as we thought they were. Do you remember that? I think they actually had them in some way or another as well too, maybe Survivor or something like that, where the Bucks are literally lining up for a field goal up by 6 to ice the game, and this is with like maybe a minute left or a minute and a half left, something like that, and the Jets block the field goal and run it back for a touchdown.
I do remember that now.
And then Baker has to come back and they drive all the way down the field and kick a field goal to end up winning it. But yeah, that was it's a Bucks life. Pretty much. So, yeah, interesting.
Well, let's get into it. Chad's already put down his predictions down there. Buffalo 11-10 for New England, Jets 4, and the Dolphins only 1 win. Wow, Chad. That's interesting. Let's get into it, Jeff. Let's start off with your divisional favorites here. But I'm sorry, New England did pull out last year. I know that we've been on the table before. I expect a small regression, nothing crazy, but I don't see Drake May putting up another MVP type season. We do agree that the New England Patriots are one of the best coach teams around.
Without a doubt.
Diana thing had anything to do, the distractions that's going to come with it, with the microphone being placed in front of his mouth every week, because he's going to be asked about it. But let's talk into it. I'm still leaning towards the Buffalo Bills in this division. Jeff, what are your thoughts on the AFC East for a team that is going to take the division this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think both Buffalo and New England are going to be really good. I think both will make the playoffs. I think it'll come down to those two games that they play each other, depending on who's going to win the division. And that'll be that. The one thing I still am weary about when it comes to Buffalo is going to be the defense. I think New England's defense is head and shoulders above what Buffalo has. But I think that Buffalo's offense is going to be really good. You know, we were talking about fantasy targets and where do you draft a guy like Josh Allen? And depending on your league and depending on the settings of your league, you know, like in our league that we play, our big league, it's 6 points for every touchdown. No matter if it's, you know, throwing, running, whatever it is, quarterback still gets 6 points. So for us, quarterbacks are valued a little bit higher, I think, than other positional players. And for a guy like Josh Allen, I think you're really targeting him in like the beginning of that third round, depending on how things fall to you. He definitely is the first quarterback off the board. And here's what's funny about this too, is that Josh is so good. You want Josh Allen. I don't know how many skill players of the actual Buffalo Bills I want on my fantasy team, because I feel like it just gets spread around so much. You have Khalil Shakir there. Obviously, Keon Coleman needs a little bit of a breakout. Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, you know, is going to be a workhorse. But for me, it's just Josh Allen pretty much. I don't mind if you're targeting James Cook here. I love Chad's take. You know what? He said Buffalo 11 wins, New England 10. So Chad does have Buffalo winning the division. I think I'm going to go New England winning the division still. I just think that defense is too good. Christian Gonzalez, Mike Vrabel, I think they have a two-headed run game that's really good. Now you add A.J. Brown as a skill piece as well, too. Their offensive line is still really good. Will Campbell coming into a second year is going to be better, I think. I kind of like everything.
That's a bold prediction, my friend.
Why?
Well, I mean, he just got absolutely destroyed.
Small sample size in a couple of those games, and things are tough. And I think I love his mindset. I love his moxie. I've always loved the way that he's carried himself as well, too. So, I don't know.
You know what's crazy is I don't even see him on the depth chart of Buffalo right now.
Will Campbell, did he get hurt?
Obviously, because Chad said, did they find somebody to replace Campbell?
Well, if he got hurt, then never mind.
Did I see something? He's out for the year?
Well, that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't even see him on the depth chart, so I think they might be okay with that. And, you know, finding the hole, he got waxed a lot. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of game plans that were around him, you know, being exposed when they weren't playing trash teams. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I agree with you as far as Buffalo from a fantasy. I still think James Cook's going to get the touches. Yeah. Right. I mean, you can't go wrong with James Cook. He's looking like RB6 right now as far as ADP. I definitely like him over Ashton Genty. I think he's going to be right up there with Jonathan Taylor. I think that you could kind of give him the same workload there. And, you know, adding DJ Moore to this mix, again, Khalil Shakir is going to be your streakster, which DJ Moore is not the big target either for the Buffalo Bills. I apologize. So,
Khalil Shakir is going to play out of the slot. So
who's going to be our go up and get him guy?
I mean, it's got to be Keon Coleman. He's got to come into his own this year. You know, of all the shit that was talked and all the stuff that was said. Yeah. Jeremy said left arm injury. He was back to practicing yesterday. So I think looks like Will Campbell should be fine. Listen, he was a high pick. He was the first offensive lineman taken off the board last year coming out of LSU. I've always loved, like I said, the way that he carries himself, the way his moxie is and everything like that. Give me one of those dogs like that all day long. I know he had some tough games. I know Justice referred to the Myles Garrett game, obviously. Yeah, I mean, you're playing one of the best rushers in the entire NFL. You know, if you go up against, you know, like the Seahawks, obviously was not an ideal matchup for him either. You know,
he got destroyed by the Texans as well.
Another one of the best pass rushes in the entire NFL.
But to the point of everything, we're not playing for the regular season. We're playing for the playoffs. And then when you come to the playoffs, you got to hold your own. And if Will Campbell can't hold his own, then that offense is not. If it wasn't for CJ Stroud having an absolutely comical performance and having like 25 turnovers, they don't win that game.
I mean, I don't disagree with you on that. Listen, I also think there's something to be said that they were in a lot of those games because of their defense as well, too. Tiny arms can't be long arm left tackle.
It's crazy, though. That was one of the knocks of him coming into the draft was he had short arms, and he's getting bull rushed. I don't know. I don't think the Buffalo Bills, like we said, I agree. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win the division. 11 wins, though, that puts them a half over their total of 10 and a half. I don't know. I just don't know. I think that I think that the Dolphins in there. I don't think that either one of these teams gets over their win total. And I know I'm going against Chad here. Buffalo with 11, and then Patriots are 9.5. To the point. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Patriots here. Obviously, a great season last year. Very, very hard to replicate. When we talk about freshmen quarterbacks coming into the league and having absolutely superstar performances, very, very, very few times is that transferred over to the sophomore year. Usually it's the sophomore slump, or they're not very good in their freshman, and we're looking for that sophomore bounce back season. I don't think Drake May is going to have the same thing. To your point, and to everybody's point in here, they did have one of the easiest schedules. And, Drake May was one of the most accurate passers in the league last year. I think it was something like 77%, 76%, something like that. That is good. It's kind of like when we look at one score win games. Those are going to be very, very hard to replicate on the field. I do believe, again, we think Mike Vrabel is one of the best coaches out there. We were very surprised when he left Tennessee. Apparently, just changed the scenery. Obviously, the worlds collide. Somehow he just ends up in New England. Okay, whatever. We all know how that works. We have a lot of respect for him on the coaching field. I do believe they're going to be involved. I think the 8 to 9, I think they're going to have a little bit of regression there as well. The playbook's out, just like we talked about before. You do have, was it Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator, who's one of the better ones in the league, work with Brady, and he's always got something. But will he make that extra step to be able to change the offensive schemes and structures based off what they did last year? I don't know about that, Jeff. I don't know if he's going to be able to make those changes where the defenses are absolutely going to catch up. We've said it numerous times. This is going to be very important for the Bears as well. When you get in that first year offense or the first year doing whatever and you have great success, everybody has a year with the tape on it. You got to make adjustments. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to succeed in year 2.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the whole New England thing for me is just about defense. I mean, I think defense travels everywhere. I always say I think you win in the NFL in the trenches on the offensive, defensive lines, but they also have a really good back end as well too. In New England, so that's the only thing that I give them the slight edge against Buffalo. But like Chad said, we're splitting hairs here. We're talking about half games off of the totals that they have. So that's how good these teams are going to be. I do think it's interesting how bad the bottom half of this division is. When you talk about the New York Football Jets, obviously they're having joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. I think I saw 4 fights yesterday or something like that, that they had, just linemen going at each other, helmets being flung everywhere, fisticuffs going on.
Do you know why there's fights in preseasons, Jeff?
Well, I mean, you're hitting the same guy over and over again for weeks on end. You finally get to hit somebody else and talk shit to somebody else, and tempers are going to flare. Because
there's no repercussions.
There's
no repercussions.
There can be.
I watched the guy. I think it was Jamar Chase rip a guy's helmet off and throw it at him.
Yeah, and the DB deserved it.
And Myles Garrett did that and got suspended. So I'm saying there's no repercussions. It's like it's like when you throw the first punch when you're around a whole bunch of people and it's going to get broke up immediately. So you're like, I'm going to be the tough guy and throw the first punch. Anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I think it is interesting. Geno Smith, obviously, landing back in New York for the Jets. Supposedly he's looked absolutely horrendous so far in camp. It makes me
We're on the Patriots, by the way.
Huh?
We're on the Patriots, by the way.
We were on the entire East.
Yeah, no. We were literally talking about the Patriots right now, though.
Yes, I thought we were moving off the Patriots.
No, because we didn't really get into our fantasy targets yet or anything of that nature.
AJ Brown is going to be good. But the running back situation, I don't know if I want either of them because it's going to be Ramondre and it's going to be Henderson in a timeshare. Hunter Henry is a maybe. I would say he'd be on my board if I was like at the back end and had punted on tight end for forever. He's going to be interesting streaming option weekly. Drake May, I think people are way overdrafting him for what he's going to perform this year.
Let me also just say real quick, Jeff, I know that we kind of went over it. We talked a little bit about the Bills, DJ Moore over there not being necessarily the go-get guy, but he's being drafted wide receiver 25.
Yeah, way too high.
Way too high.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
How many targets do you think DJ Moore is going to get a game?
6, 7?
3 times holding up to number 4. How about let's split it. Let's say he gets 5 targets a game. Okay. You 5 targets. Let's say he catches.
One of them is going to be 25 yards.
Okay. So let's say he catches 3 of those 5 targets, which is a really good ratio for a wide receiver. So you're telling me he's going to get 3 catches. One of those will be for 25 yards. What are the other 2 going to be? Now, do I think that he can get creative in this
he doesn't have Caleb
system that Joe Brady has? Absolutely. But he should have been creative in the best one of the best offensive minds that we have in Ben Johnson in Chicago as well. So I don't have faith in DJ Moore to come out and be this lightning in a bottle. I agree it's high upside, but at wide receiver 25, you're talking about that's your number 2 wide receiver on your team, or that's your flex spot in most points. I just think there's better places to go than there is a guy that you're hoping turns 3 catches into something every single week.
3 catches, wow.
Well, you said 3 times said 4 targets, you said 6. So if I'm going to split the difference and say 5, he gets 5 targets a game. Right.
Well, I mean, it's going to be an average. There's going to be days that there's going to be games that he has bigger ones. There's going to be days where he has little ones.
Of course, that's ebbs and flows, highs and lows. But in fantasy football, we're looking for the highest floor that we can possibly get. Right. The ceiling is great every once in a while if you want to take a flyer. But I'm trying to average exactly 120 points every single game. That's what I'm looking for. So I want high floor guys.
So with that being said, let's talk a little about the New England Patriots. AJ Brown being drafted wide receiver 8.
Yes.
Do you like that one?
I think for me, it's a little high. I don't know if I would have him at 8 in terms of wide receiver. I do think that he's going to have way more targets than he had last year in Philadelphia. I think that he looks to be more motivated. Obviously, we said on Monday about how he already broke his thumb in training camp, but all signs point to him, yes, having a nice bounce back year. I would say if you're going to ask me if AJ Brown finishes in the top 10 of wide receivers this year, I'm going to say it's going to be very, very close. So yeah, I think, like I said, if you're talking about a floor guy, I think he's going to be fine. But at the same time, I don't know if I want him to be my number 1 wide receiver on my fantasy team. I think he'd be a solid number 2 to slide in somewhere.
I tell you who I would like to pick up, especially where he's going, is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry has been nothing but a production machine out of this offense, and he has the great rapport with Drake May. I was trying to see exactly where he was going, but I know it's way down. I can't even see it. He's not even on the page. I don't know if I can do this I can do it by position. Look at this. Oh yeah, come get some daddy. Hunter Henry, tight end 20th. I think that's a great value down there.
1,000%.
I definitely do. When you look at some of the other ones, obviously, up and down, I think that's a great value over there. And Brendan Strange being at 10, tight end 18, I have not seen him almost even drafted in many leagues. We'll get into that in a minute, obviously. But the Patriots, I do believe, have a small regression to your point, as long as the defense is there. My question is, what's the offense going to look like this year now that there's a year out on tape? So we'll see what happens there.
I think they're going to be pretty balanced, though. And regardless of what you want to say about what their offense is going to look like and so on and so forth, I mean, people know Josh McDaniels. He's been in the league forever. It's not like we're solving the Rosetta Stone here. So if you're going to be able to run the ball and be able to hit play action and hit plays over the top and stuff like that, then, I think they're going to be absolutely fine.
What's the Rosetta Stone? The only Rosetta Stone I know is the language.
Correct.
Oh.
We're going to move on. Yeah, I mean, 3-time. I could see Joe Brady using DJ on screens and wide receiver runs. I don't disagree with that. You think maybe he gets 1 or 2 of those a game? So maybe instead of 5 targets, that elevates him to 7, which now gives him 5 touches. So now you're thinking,
how many targets is Jamar Chase going to get a game? I know we're going completely off rails here, but how many targets is Jamar Chase going to see a game?
A ton.
Is that 10?
I mean, I think there was games last year where he literally had like 18, 19 targets.
Well, we can't really go over last year because last year that they played from extremely behind and it was literally just sling and gun. Plus, you didn't have Burrow for half the time.
Yeah, I mean, on average, the rapport that him and Joe have though is undeniable, and I think if you're going to tell me Jamar Chase is going to average 9 targets a game, I'm great with that. You know.
Okay. So the drop off between 6 targets and 9 targets is literally 25 positions.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let's move it on. I agree. I mean, the Pats are definitely balanced, but the schedule is definitely way easier. And we got to look at those close games as well. You know, they had some dog shit teams that they played that they barely squeaked by as well. Speaking of dog shit, the New York Jets coming in again. Geno Smith coming back for his second go around in New York. Mm-hmm. Whew. You know, obviously, when we talk about the New York Jets, we don't expect much out of them as far as the win totals. So let's just get into the fantasy football production here. A lot of people are very high on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Again, the Jets are going to be playing from behind, right? Mm-hmm. So who is going to be taking the eyeballs off Garrett Wilson so that he can get some and not getting the double team? That is my only concern with his ADP and where he's going. Will he get targets? Sure, because they're going to be throwing the ball around all game because they're going to be behind all game. Is Geno Smith the answer? Which Geno Smith are we getting? Are we getting the gunslinger from Seattle, or are we getting the train wreck from Las Vegas, or are we getting the Geno that they drafted? Which Geno are we getting? For me, I don't know how you can really go on anything except for Breece Hall out of the Jets team, to be perfectly honest. And even them, that's still sketchy in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, Breece Hall can't deny the talent. The way he finished last year as well, too.
It has nothing to do with talent. Garrett Wilson has all the talent in the world. It's the team.
Absolutely ran his ass off at the end of the year last year. Obviously, did he get franchise tag or did he get paid, Jeremy?
He got a contract, sure. I believe.
Did he get a contract that he signed? So good for him. You know, it's always these running backs, man. It's so tough. The position is just it's the one that gets abused the most, that you have the shortest shelf life of a career on, and it's one of the worst paid. And it's just.
They have anymore. Shout out to Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs cracking the $25 million marks.
$25 million, right? For a running back that touches the ball maybe 30 times a game, right? And then you have guys like Quinnen Williams and these defensive tackles, Jalen Carter, and the contracts that they're getting. It's just, to me, it's insane. I think running backs need to be paid much more, but.
At the end of the 3 years,
I look at it $43.5 million for Breece Hall. So it's a.
I'm not going to say they're a dime a dozen.
13.5 a year, something like that.
Are running backs not the most heavily reliant position on everyone else around them? Like, you can have an awesome running back, but if you have a shit O-line, it ain't going to happen.
I think if you're an awesome running back, you're an awesome running back. I don't think Adrian Peterson had the best offensive line his entire career, but Adrian Peterson was so freaking good it didn't matter. I thought that at
also had Ashton Genty last year, who has the talent that was literally bouncing off his linemen.
Does he have the talent? I don't know. Like I watched Ashton Genty in college, and I thought he deserved the Heisman Trophy. I don't know if his game actually translates to the NFL. I don't know.
Again, when you're bouncing off your lineman, he also was the most hit behind the line of scrimmage of anybody last year. I think that's just where it comes in. Like, again, to your point, though, I think with the Swiss Army knives that these running backs are turning into with the receiving yards, that's why they're starting to get some of the wide receiver money. At the end of the day, though, I think it just is like there's just not enough money to go around. And in this day and age where it's run and gun, it's the quarterback and the wide receiver one. And offensive line, defensive backs, and then there comes the running backs down at the very bottom.
Chad, you say not to get too far off topic, but Genty bounce back season, in your opinion, if we're gonna say he has a bounce back season, where do you think that bounce back season lands in terms of, let's just say, like yards and touchdowns?
Not a first round pick, in my opinion. Obviously, they did some stuff to shore up that offensive line. They brought the guy over from Baltimore. Can't remember what his name is. The nose tackle became one of the highest nose tackles in the league. Yeah, I'm not doubting Breece Hall's talent, nor am I doubting Garrett Wilson's talent. It's just, it's the Jets, man. It's the Jets. I had Garrett Wilson for, I think, the past 2 years, and he definitely did not finish where he was drafted.
So Garrett Wilson's season total, and I remember because I forget the kid's name that I always watch, who cracks me up. They had the alien thing with the Wimby tips. Anyway, I forget his name. The guy's hilarious though. But he had a bet of Garrett Wilson over 5 touchdowns last year, and Garrett Wilson, I think the line was 5.5, and I think Garrett Wilson had 5 touchdowns in the first 4 games, something like that, and then got hurt and never played the rest of the year. So if you were to project, I mean, obviously he's not going to score a touchdown every game, but even on a terrible team where Justin Fields was not really throwing the ball, he was able to still produce and be viable. I just think his talent outweighs how bad the quarterback situation is. And if you can get it in his vicinity and you can get it pushed down to him, I love Garrett Wilson. 800, 1,100, 6 to 8 touchdowns. Yeah, okay. I don't mind that.
Well, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins then, Jeffrey. I don't think anybody is really expecting anything out of this Miami Dolphins team. But at the end of the day, as I'm so reminded by many people throughout the world, it is still an NFL roster, right? So it's not like, the one of the best teams of all time, the Joe Burrow LSU Tigers team, could walk in and take on this Dolphins team. I don't. What do you even say about this? You got Devin Achane, and then what? That's it.
And I don't. The one thing I like. So, listen, Achane is incredible. He's phenomenal. He's got so much talent that it'll outweigh and mitigate how bad the team is. The problem is that I don't like what they did. Caden Proctor, like I said, you draft Caden Proctor, right? The guy from Alabama, tackle from Alabama, who the knock on Caden Proctor was that he had like motor issues. Like he sometimes could not get up and want to play and so on and so forth. And now you're going to take that guy and you're going to plug him into Miami, who's going to be one of the worst teams in the entire NFL. And you're going to put him in the heat at Hard Rock Stadium at 1:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday. Tell me how that motor is going to work when they're, 1-7 to start the year.
I don't even see Caden Proctor on the roster.
I don't know what rosters you're looking at.
I'm looking at the Miami Dolphins depth chart.
He's their starting tackle.
Which tackle? I got Patrick Paul and Austin Jackson.
Sorry, starting left guard. My apologies. Starting left guard.
Left guard.
My bad. I think the one place you can go here
Caden Proctor for left guard.
I'm sorry.
I have Caden Proctor starting as their left guard.
That's who I just said.
Oh, I apologize. Okay. Okay. Did you say that? All right. Let the gummies wear off a little bit.
All right. Anyway, I don't understand going and getting Malik Willis. I don't understand the thought process behind that at all. I would have loved to have just seen Quinn Ewers go air it out for an entire season and figure it out. The fact that now that you're going to have, Malik Willis out there who doesn't really push the ball on the field. That's why I think the one place you can go here is maybe Greg Dulcich. I think there will be times that you're going to be on the waiver wire and you're going to be desperate and you're going to pick up like a Tutu Atwell and hope for lightning in a bottle somewhere. I don't love the Jeff Hafley hire. I don't think he's a great coach. He was just a coach at Boston College like 3 years ago before, his boy hired him over at the Packers to coach defense. And now he gets a head coaching NFL job. I don't know. None of it to me screams sexy or anything that I want a part of. I don't mind the take that they win one game. This could be one of the worst teams that we've ever seen.
I mean, I'm looking at this on paper, Jeff. I look at the depth chart, and I'm like, Who?
Yeah, it's egregious, the roster that they put together.
Malik Washington is your number one wide receiver. Okay. Yeah.
Like I said, Greg Dulcich, if you're desperate and you need a tight end, Malik Willis will throw the ball to the tight end. It's one thing that we know. He will have RPOs in there and packages, and you will have tight end opportunities. So
Greg Dulcich, scoop him up now. I was actually surprised. Ollie Gordon, I thought he had a relatively decent season, had some sparks last year. I was really surprised to see him come out as RB3 on the depth chart.
Well, Jalen Wright was really good last year too. And, Ollie Gordon, it's the, romanticism of the Oklahoma State days, and him, at one point, I think he actually led college football in rushing one year. And so he's always been a guy who's been on the radar and people have looked at. He's a big frame, big size body. But we also know how this works in the NFL, right? Guys get hurt, and so guys get hurt and you want their backup. And who knows what it's going to be, just like with Mike McDaniel, who knows? It was why it was so tough last year to have a handcuff for Achane. When I tried to have it, it was like, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Jalen Wright or is it going to be Ollie Gordon? We don't know. So I don't know. He might get killed. 6. He might. I'm telling you, bro. Like the Caden Pryor pick was wild to me. I know he was like consistent high school Alabama, but I saw him get whipped a few games. So I don't know. I guess I can say the same thing about Will Campbell. It is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, recap there on the AFC East predictions. Just overall, Tyson has Buffalo taking it down. Jeff has the Patriots, and it's really just the rest after that, just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if the Dolphins do get a win. When Chad first put out there one win, I'm like, come on, this is an NFL franchise. And then I looked at the depth chart. I said, you know what? He might not be far off there. That could be, what they need? They need to go over. That way they have the perfect season both ways. Maybe that's funny. What they're doing, Jeff.
That'd be funny. That would be funny.
Chad, Arch.
Malik Willis did get hazard pay in his contract because he got a contract. So it was just understood that, hey, we're going to sign you. Even Jordan Love's backup.
I don't even need to look, Chad. I don't even need to look on the schedule. I'm just looking at the roster, dude. I'm just looking at the roster.
What is their over-under on wins on a Hard Rock? Let me look. I'm already here. I got it. 4.5. 4.5.
That's what makes me wonder. Vegas just doesn't throw up lines like that. They know that everybody's going to pound it. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody has, and it hasn't moved.
That's why it's minus 155. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? I'm just saying. It seems like easy money, Jeff. They're dangling that carrot.
You can't push it to 4, though. The problem is if you push it to 4,
because then you got the tie.
Because then you have the pushes involved, and
I feel like to Chad's point, when the schedule comes out, the roster's finalized. I really don't like betting season totals. I'm on the record of saying this. It ties up my money for the entire season.
Yeah.
And I can just bet them as I go. So I don't really like that. But let's move it on to the AFC North, Jeffrey. AFC North.
Chad, are you doing Circa this year by any chance? I'm just throwing it out there real quick. I'm just curious. Chad, let us know if you're doing Circa this year.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Spreads.
The Pittsburgh Steelers take home the division last year, 10-7. Baltimore Ravens with the epic collapse, 8-9. The Joe Burrow-less Bengals, 6-11, and the Cleveland dumpster fire Browns at 5-2. Let's just really quickly go over these win totals. Ravens, obviously one of the Super Bowl favorites, 11.5 wins. Bengals, 9.5 wins. Steelers, 8.5 wins. And the Browns, 5.5 wins. Before we get into all of this stuff, Jeff, I think that there's a lot of very key talking points here for the Baltimore Ravens, who are heavily favored last year as well, to come back in after the dud of Lamar last year. There was obviously something going on in that locker room. Him and Harbaugh just weren't having it anymore, whatever it is. 11.5 wins is also, I might throw out, the highest win total of the entire NFL. The Rams and the Ravens are both at 11.5 wins, Jeff. And when I just look at it from a 10,000 foot level, I'm not even looking at the schedules yet, but I'm just saying, I don't think that the Ravens roster equals the Rams roster. And let's also be the Rams also have baked in, obviously, Aaron Darnold coming back in some fashion. When I look at the rosters and I look at Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, the running back situation, Matt Stafford, and then I go over and I look at the Ravens and I see Lamar Jackson. Okay, that's comparable. But then I drop to Zay Flowers, which Zay Flowers can hold his own. The man runs around the field. I've had him numerous years on my fantasy team. But if I'm taking Zay Flowers or Puka Nacua, which am I taking? I'm taking Puka Nacua. And who am I taking for wide receiver number 2 out of the Ravens? Rashad Bateman against Devontae Adams. Now, again, scheduling, it does have something to go with that. But I'm just saying on paper, I just don't see them very equal. I will say I do feel that the Cincinnati Bengals at 9.5, again, I haven't looked at the schedules. I feel like the Bengals are going to come out with they're on fire, dude. I feel like they are just going to have so much heat up their ass that they're just going to go out there and steamroll people. What do you think, Jeff?
It's interesting because the Bengals historically start off slow. That's always been their MO. And so people
last year they started out okay.
Yeah, people will tell you, like,
and then he got hurt.
If you want to, take the Bengals in some form or another, you can usually wait till about week 2 or 3. And then try to figure it out from there. Do you want to know who do I think is going to win the division, or do you want me to break down fantasy targets? Which one do you want me to do?
Actually, let's go back. Let me get your divisional winner first.
Okay. For me, divisional winner, I am going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that this is a situation where if you are Zach Taylor and you've been in this division for years now, and you have had to battle Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh and Kevin Stefanski, and it's been a murderer's row in this division for many years. You finally get an opportunity to bring back everybody, to pretty much be healthy, to shore up the offensive line, to finally have a defense there. I just think that this is put up or shut up time for Zach Taylor. He has to come out and coach his ass off. Otherwise, I think you have to get rid of him. This is a make or break year for that Cincinnati Bengals team. This is their opportunity to come out and finally get over the hump. And if Zach Taylor doesn't do it, then Zach Taylor needs to be fired, and they need to figure something else out.
I couldn't agree more with the Zach Taylor take. A lot of people were actually even surprised. I mean, we're firing Jim Harbaugh. We're moving Kevin Stefanski, which, again, Kevin Stefanski is just whatever. But, we're looking at Joe Burrow in the face, and at the end of the day, you've had a team with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, who's been one of the better backs in the league, and you can't get it done. But health is definitely an issue, and I think that's why he got a pass. When you don't have Joe Burrow, you don't win. Just like that's the only reason I didn't win back-to-back fantasy leagues this year was because Joe Burrow was out for the whole season. I mean, it is what it is. Luckily, I picked up Daniel Jones and had a little bit of ride, but Daniel Jones and Joe Burrow are just not comparable when it comes to fantasy football. I agree with Chad here. I think this division is very, very tough.
For sure.
And I will say that I think the Steelers are going to be sneaky in this division. All of the lights and the glams are on the Ravens and they're on the Bengals. All of it. Every single spotlight, every single this. Nobody's looking at old man Rodgers and old man McCarthy.
You love Rodgers.
I don't love Aaron Rodgers. I like him off the field. But I will say, I love this guy. I will say, I really feel like the Steelers are going to be sneaky. Who wins this division? I think that you could take the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers and get them all in a room and have a 3-headed coin and flip it. And wherever it lands, that's who wins the division. I think all 3 of them are going to be right there. I think that the Ravens are going to come out with the same fire that the Bengals have. Obviously, underperforming last year, Zay Flowers gets his flowers and got absolutely overpaid by my goodness, amounts of money. You do let Isaiah Likely go, which I thought that was a very interesting move, especially with Mark Andrews not necessarily having the production that he had last year. That was a great target for Lamar Jackson on the rollouts. Obviously, Derrick Henry had an off year, but that whole team did. I'd still draft Derrick Henry again in the same position with the 9th overall pick again this year if I really needed to. I think he has a bounce back. There was nothing wrong with Derrick Henry. It was the threat of Lamar Jackson not running anymore after he tweaks that hamstring. Full off season, Lamar Jackson's back to 100%. The dual threat's back on. Once he starts running the football a little bit more, that spy is going to come out. That extra defender's not going to be able to plug the hole. I think Derrick Henry definitely has a bounce back season here. I can't even predict an AFC North. Can I do that? Can I do that? Can I not predict anybody?
You have free will.
I have free will. I don't know who's going to win this division. I think this is going to be one of the most interesting divisions in football this year. Is going to be the AFC North. Like Chad said, so much turnover. I'm going to lean, Jeff. I'm going to lean. I know we don't have leans. No leans. It's not very good. It's not
the original idea, noleans.com.
Still have it. Still own noleans.com.
Still own noleans.com.
Chad, we can start up a new betting site, get some noleans.com.
Noleans.com.
I'm gonna lean with Jeff again, and I can't help that we're like picking the same team. I'm gonna think the Bengals
are the same team. You picked the Bills in the East. I picked the Patriots.
Okay, well there we go. Good. I was right in the world. I'm going to go with the Bengals again. I feel like Jamar Chase has come out and said that he wants the touchdown record this year. I don't know if you caught that clip. He wants the touchdown record this year. He wants 25, I do believe it is. He wants 25 touchdowns this year. So that's an interesting comment. Let's be honest. I mean, the Bengals offense is not the problem. It's the defense. And what is that defense going to look like? I don't know. Baltimore Ravens 11.5 wins. I think that's a tremendous amount of wins in that division. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they get there. If you maybe do that, I would take the under the Ravens.
I think the problem is like you're splitting a half game there with the Ravens, right? Like
I
think is probably 10, so it's like
I think the Browns are going to be sneaky and get a couple wins, unexpected wins as well. We always talk about the bottom feeder teams, man, and sometimes they just jump up. Well, I think there's a lot of people on the Browns that are a little bit fed up with, what's going on with the whole thing. There's people on contract years. What are we laughing at? No, Chad. We'll obviously base it in the United States, brother, and we'll just figure out how you're going to get paid later. Okay, got that. But I think the Browns, man, are going to be sneaky. Mm-hmm. Who's going to start this year? Is it Deshaun Watson? Is it Shedeur Sanders?
I think the good news for them is that they don't need to change things very much depending on who's back there.
I mean, you lost Myles Garrett, but you plugged in Jared Verse. That defense was still great last year.
Yeah.
You just need stability at the quarterback position. You can't be bringing in Joe Flacco off the couch and expect to win games.
I think they made some interesting moves too in the middle of the season. They got rid of Newsome, and there were some other things that I was a little curious about. But I mean, they still have an incredible defense.
Who's their coach now?
Todd Monken. Came over.
Right. Baltimore.
He's bounced around everywhere, but he was Baltimore. He was with Georgia for a little while when Georgia was making their run in college as well too. I think
Cleveland's saying 5.5. Pittsburgh is 8.5. Cincinnati 9.5, and Ravens are 11.5.
I think it's going to be a money division. I do, but I just think I liked the Dexter Lawrence move that they made for the Bengals. I like some of their draft picks as well too, and
guys,
like I said, it's just they have to do it this year. I'm not huge on what Baltimore did. I think that Pittsburgh went from mediocre Mike to another mediocre Mike, and it's really puzzling. Now, I know that there are emotional ties there for Mike McCarthy growing up around there, and obviously he has the rapport with Aaron Rodgers already, and
Aaron Rodgers placeholder.
Announcing that it will be his last year, which is weird to me. Like, you get rid of Tomlin, you bring in McCarthy for 1 year of Aaron Rodgers. I
don't think that they got rid of Tomlin. I think that was a mutual split. I think Tomlin was tired of the noise.
He's great on TV, by the way.
Tired of the disrespect,
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he didn't win playoff games, and I think I think he's just a very upstanding individual. I really do. He's a no BS guy. And I think that he sees the writing on the wall that, I couldn't do it. I've been here for 20 something years. I had one Super Bowl. I haven't had a playoff win in 4 years, 5 years, whatever the hell it was. I'm tired of coming to work every day and being criticized by the city of Pittsburgh, being like, am I ever going to get it done? I gave it my best the last time. I fell short. It's time for me to move on. I know I've got plenty of money. I got my integrity. I'm going to go over here and do something, take a step back. And maybe if he ever wants to step back in, there's going to be teams lined up for him. So I think it was a mutual move, to be honest with you.
I think he'll be the next head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year. Place where he started his career under Tony Dungy as defensive assistant. I think there's strong ties to that organization. as well. I think he has a soft spot in his heart for Tampa, and I think it'd be a great landing spot for him. So,
all right, well, let's go over the AFC North here. Let's go over our fantasy projections.
Did he really? And Jeremy, Mike McCarthy said Green Bay Packers yesterday in his press conference.
I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. Let's go. Let's start off with the Cleveland Browns, who also do have Deshaun Watson listed as QB1 on the depth chart. Let's start right there for real quick, Jeffrey. Obviously, Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. A lot of talk about this and who should start for the quarterback for the Browns. A lot of people are saying put it in Shedeur Sanders because listen, just what are you laughing at? Do I need to address something else here?
The Green Gay Packers is what Mike McCarthy called them.
The Green Gay. I like it. There you go.
That's
I like
it.
Good. A lot of the talking heads out there. We're not part of that group, by the way, guys. We are not those talking heads. We're these talking heads. You know what I'm saying? You might as well just put out Shedeur Sanders. Deshaun Watson is done. This is his last year, so he's gone anyway. So what is the purpose of putting him out there? You need to see what your future is. To my point is, though, there's a lot of other guys on this roster that is playing for a contract or playing for their next team. Yeah. And you need to put the best team out on the field. And if Shedeur Sanders cannot beat out Deshaun Watson in the preseason like Kyle Trask did to Baker Mayfield, then he shouldn't play. Bottom line, you got to put the best quarterback out there. I do think it will be Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. I would not want to touch him as a fantasy quarterback, but I will tell you this, at the very, very last round, when everybody else is off the board and you're picking some bullshit player anyway that probably will never play for you, slide him in there and see what happens.
Depends on your draft strategy for sure.
Yeah, but as far as fantasy targets here, it's got to be Quinshon Judkins, right? That Quinshon Judkins is the number one target on this Browns teams if you're going to really target anybody.
Sorry, the babies just got home from the first day of school.
Oh, I thought I heard a slap and oh poppy. I was like, what is happening?
My wife saying hi to my 3-year-old.
Oh, okay.
I guess it was a rough drop off. He did not want to go, but they sent us a bunch of pictures throughout the entire day, and he couldn't have been happier. Nice. Had a blast all day today, so that's nice. really makes me happy. I think Deshaun Watson will start. I don't know if you remember this last year in the draft. Everybody has different strategies, and I think you have tiers of guys where you target them, and if you don't get them there, then you're just kind of like, okay, it is what it is. So last year, I don't think I took a quarterback until round 15, and I took Jordan Love, and I said, you know what, I'm going to play the waiver wire. I'm going to take Jordan Love. He plays the Lions week 1. He's going to ball out, which he did, and then we'll move on from there and play the matchups. So it depends on your draft strategy. And I think
how did that work out for you? How'd you end up? What seed were you in the playoffs?
I think in retrospect, I don't mind the strategy whatsoever that I took. I think I got very unlucky on a lot of things.
Oh, did you lose Joe Burrow for the season?
No, I mean, I had Garrett Wilson and AJ Brown and
You knew damn well what you did when you drafted AJ Brown. Don't you look at me in the camera and tell me to feel sorry for you. You knew exactly what you were doing drafted AJ Brown. You knew he wasn't going to produce, but yet you couldn't go past the name, Jeffrey.
I had Brock Bowers, who was very average. I think
but you drafted him in like the third round or the second round.
Third round, yeah.
Well, let's get back over here a little bit. So we can both agree Quinshon Judkins is the number one fantasy prospect on the Cleveland Browns, yes?
I love Judkins. I also do really like Jerry Jeudy. I thought he had a really good end of the year last year as well, too. And he's got a chance to be, a guy who I thought when there was times when you would see him out there, even at certain points, he can stretch the field. He can make plays. He's a home run hitter, but he can also be a really good possession guy. The guy that they were expecting him to be in Denver, he's actually turned into here in Cleveland a little bit. So,
also, don't forget Isaiah Bond. We're looking for him to make a nice little leap.
This is where it's like one of those things where if you follow high school recruiting in football as well too, Bond has been a guy who has been everywhere. He played for the University of Texas. He played for Alabama. He's a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. The talent is off the chain. He just needs an opportunity, and he needs the right mindset, and he's very young. So I would love to see him take that step this year. It'd be great to see.
And last one, just one to keep down there on your top. I'm sorry, your tops on your targets a little bit later. Harold Fannin Jr. had a great year last year. Granted, that was with Shador.
Stop mentioning his name, please.
Jeffrey Harold Fannin Jr. Everybody, target him in your fantasy draft. Buff TJ, everybody.
God, I'm trying to remember. He played for. Where did he play for? He played for like an off-brand school in the MAC that we used to watch, and he would dominate people. Really, really good. I love his talent. Obviously, he made some incredible games last year. Missed a little bit of consistency overall, but with that Browns team, it was very tough to have any consistency whatsoever. So, if you get a quarterback like a Deshaun Watson that's in there, then yes, I like Harold Fannin Jr. more and more and more. So.
All right, well, let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals next up. Jeff, I think it'd be easier to say, who do you not want?
Bowling Green. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Love you.
Who do you not want for fantasy on the Bengals? Gesicki?
I don't know if T. Higgins will be a big draft for me this year at his current ADP. I love Chase Brown this year. I think Chase Brown is a league winner that you're going to be able to get. But Jamar Chase, obviously, I think will finish wide receiver 1 in all of fantasy football without a doubt. I just think that Jamar Chase is so good and he's so much better than T. Higgins that it's going to be really tough for T in some aspects as well too.
Well, T's also going to get the double team rollovers.
And here's the other thing too. They also have Ishavish or whatever his name is as well too, who came into his own last year, was really good. There's a lot to spread around here. So basically,
Joe Flacco really QB2?
Yeah, they re-signed him.
That guy just won't go away, will he?
You didn't watch quarterback this year, did you?
I don't watch that crap, dude. No, I don't.
Great. Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, Joe Flacco. Really good.
Well, the Bengals pretty much speak for themselves. Let's get into the Steelers here, Jeff. Anybody we're targeting on the Steelers?
DK?
I like DK. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a nice year this year. I really do.
Let me look at.
I'm also going to say, while Jeff's looking up his,
go
Aaron
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is going pretty much undrafted in most leagues,
as he should be.
I think that definitely he's going to have a great year, bro. I think definitely if we're talking about that last spot, we're wanting to put a backup quarterback in there for handcuffs instead of drafting those players that are not going to start for you whatsoever. Get yourself that double quarterback. Get yourself a little bit of backup. I have no problems taking Rodgers in the late rounds. I actually do like where DK Metcalf is falling as well with his ADP. Let me just bring it up here real quick.
Can I give you another player's ADP?
Wide receiver 35 is where DK is going.
Can I also say this too? Michael Pittman Jr. That trade that they made to get him, he is the perfect Aaron Rodgers guy. He is in that Jordy Nelson, possession receiver, big kid, great hands. I think you're going to see him if you're in a PPR league. I think Michael Pittman Jr. could be a steal of a draft somewhere and win somebody a draft as well, too.
100%. 100%.
Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, is going to be the run game. And especially with McCarthy and the way that he runs his offense. Jaylen Warren, yes, it is your backfield. It is your job to have. But they went and got a guy who I have loved for the past few years in Rico Dowdle. I don't know if you remember the run that Rico Dowdle had with the Carolina Panthers there. But now you add him to that backfield. I was already a fan of who's the other kid? Caleb Johnson, the kid they drafted out of Iowa as well, too, last year, that I thought was going to have a chance to come into his own. Obviously, he has some fumble issues that he had going out to start the season. But I don't – listen, I just don't trust Rodgers. But I think that their weapons and the way they've set this up is really, really interesting for the Steelers.
How could you not trust Rodgers? One of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever played the game.
Because I remember Brady's last year very well.
Oh.
Well,
Aaron Rodgers also is going through divorce. He's not losing his children. He actually he has a squeeze apparently somewhere. My only question is how many deep spiritual retreats did he do? And is he still doing in the middle of the season? And do you see footballs in those things? That's all. I like it though. To your point, Michael Pittman Jr. being drafted wide receiver 43.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. He might just out eclipse DK Metcalf this year. That's going to be something. Jeff, what about the running back situation? Any love for Jalen Warren?
I just said they got Rico Dowdle as the backup. And even though it's Jalen Warren's job right now, I think Rico Dowdle will definitely eat into those touches for sure.
I like Travis Homer, 3-time former Bear, sitting fourth on the depth chart there.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson's ahead of that. Travis Homer is going to be a special teams guy. He's going to be the return guy that they're going to have on kickoff returns. And yeah.
All right, let's get into it. The last but not least is the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see what we got here. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, if he's playing where he's normally playing, is an absolute cheat code. He will win you an absolute fantasy playoff. He will win you everything in fantasy football if he is healthy. Derrick Henry's still going to be the guy behind there. Zay Flowers, number one. Rashad Bateman. Mark Andrews, we talked about that a little bit. Had a little bit of a fall off last year. But obviously you're going to look for a resurgence here. Jeff, anybody in particular that you're going to be targeting on the Baltimore Ravens for fantasy output this season?
No.
Jeff says no. He will not do any Ravens people.
I don't think
Derrick Henry going RB12 is a steal at 12. I will tell you that. A steal.
If you have Derrick Henry as your second running back, I think that's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't see that happening in any league that I play in. So I actually got it on one of my ESPN drafts the other day. I had Jamar Gibbs and Derrick Henry were my two drafted running backs. Not too shabby, Jeff. Guess who the third one was? Chase Brown. This was supposedly an expert settings league. I wish we had chat rooms in those ESPN.
And who was your wide receivers?
That's where it got a little shaky. I think I had Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Quentin Johnson. They were bad.
I don't listen. We'll get into this. I don't mind Quentin Johnson this year. There's going to be situations that I want all of. There's going to be situations that I want none of. The Ravens to me are just a situation I really don't want any part of.
Jimmy just lives to correct. Shout out to the 3-time behind the scenes, always throwing shit in the private chat, calling me on all my mistakes. I guess I said Jamar. I could have said Jahmyr Gibbs.
Well, I love the fact that the way that he spelled it too was like phonetically for you to understand how to say it when that's not actually how you spell his name.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Jeff wants nobody to do with the Ravens. I'm taking Lamar. I'm taking Derrick Henry. And I'll tell you what, if Zay Flowers is down there, where is Zay Flowers going? If he's down there, oh, wow, he's way down here. That might be a nice little wait. I'm on running backs. Wide receiver 15. 35th overall. That means he's going in round 3. I don't know about that. I'll pass on that one, Jeffrey. I will pass on that one.
That's all I'm saying is that when I say I don't want a part of the situation, I'm not saying that I hate the player. I don't think he's going to be productive. I'm saying where they're being drafted is not conducive to where I want to utilize my capital there, basically.
Before we wrap this up, the only thing that really jumps out at me on quarterbacks is the fact that Josh Allen's average draft position is 29th overall.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar Jackson is 49th overall. That disparity is pretty wild to me.
It's a round and a half.
That's what I'm saying. I think that Lamar should be right there with him. Josh Lamar, boom, boom.
No.
Yeah. Well, are we talking about a healthy Lamar?
Let's talk about weapons. Let's talk about line. Let's talk about strength of schedule. Let's talk about Josh has a better situation all around. He's got Joe Brady. He's got a great offensive mind, a guy who gets in his fucking bag at times and calls incredible games. He's got weapons everywhere. He has a DJ Moore. He has side bet on what?
Which Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen most fantasy points this year?
You said Josh
You
Allen,
still owe
Lamar
me a couple
Jackson.
tabs too, so I'm kind of giving you a chance to get one of your tabs back.
Nah, you said because you ran that other one up so high that we were good.
I don't think I ever said that. We'll talk about that offline. That's going to do it for us today on the Uninformed Fan. Couple of divisional breakdowns here. We're going to be back next week on Monday to finish breaking down some more divisions. We're going to get to it. If you guys would like to see any other topics that we are going to discuss between now and then, feel free to shoot us an email, questions at theuninformedfan.com, or comment on any of our videos, and maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We get so many comments, so many thousands of notifications. It's tough to keep up.
Y'all be hating. Hey, shout out to Justice. Shout out to Chad for being in the chat. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Big ups. Thank you for being here. Chad, we're going to work something out. Maybe when the season starts, try to get you on for, a little small segment on Fridays.
Did he say that he was in Circa?
He's in Circa and Circa Survivor as well, too. So
we'll see if we're going to be in that or not. See if I can get my butt to Vegas between now and then. Anything else for us, Jeffrey? 3 times. Anything to discuss over there? Any more shit talk you want to put out there?
He's got a thumbs up.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today on the Uninformed Fan. We'll be back next Monday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern time. If you do happen to be driving out between now and then, please, for the love of God, stay out of the left-hand lane.
Be great.